Welcome everyone to Pineleaf Plays Star Realms. Star Realms is a deck building game put out by White Wizards Games. I'm going to explain how this game works in case you're not familiar with deck building games. Now this is sold both as a regular deck of cards, but it's also sold on computer platforms including the PC, the Mac, Android, and iOS. Now you can download it for free, and you have to pay $5 if you want to unlock the more advanced features. For free, you can get to play against the AI in their easy mode, and you can also play their first chapter of their campaign, which is 6 sections in it, and if you purchase it, you are able to bring up chapter 2 also, which has 9 missions in it. Now I'm showing you this to show you how it works when you have it just downloaded and have not yet unlocked everything. Now I have unlocked everything on my iOS device, my iPad, and that's because that's where I usually play it at. But I will be able to unlock it by going onto the online mode and signing in, and once I sign in, I can tell it to please bring this over, since I use the same account that I would use on my PC, and I could tell it yes, I am registered, and it will unlock everything else. So you only need to pay it once for all the platforms on which you play it. So let's begin with a little easy game against the AI. So we'll start with easy mode, and later on next time I come in, I'll have the others unlocked and we'll be able to show you a more higher difficulty. Fortunately, the easy mode is not overly easy like it is in some games. Alright, what we see here is the opening setup. We start out with 10 cards. We have a deck of 10 cards, of which 3 of them have been laid out. Usually, you have 5 cards available each turn, but during the first player's first turn there are only 3, and that's helped to balance things out. Now this is sort of a cross between Magic the Gathering and Ascension. And in fact, if you look at the background to the developers of this game, you'll see that some of them were champions at Magic the Gathering and others were involved in the development of Ascension. So they were involved in both of these things, and this has a little feel of each. From Magic the Gathering, each player has an amount of authority, and the object of the game is to bring your opponent's authority down to 0, akin to life, as you would have in Magic the Gathering. And you have some bases that are able to keep your opponent from attacking you. That's akin to blocking, but not quite as drastic, since you could have spillover in this game and you don't have in Magic. And what's from Ascension is that we have this list of 5 items that are available for purchase, and that you purchase cards with your credits, and you could attack your opponent using your attack value. And that's similar to Ascension in that you start out with 8 buying power cards and 2 attack cards. But the idea is to build a better deck as we go along, so let us begin. So I'll play my cards. So therefore I have 2 trade and 1 attack here. So for my trade, the only thing I can afford is this Explorer right now. The Explorer is a card that's common. In other words, there's a pile of Explorers and you just take one from there, and if you destroy an Explorer, you throw it back onto the pile. So they're readily available. The rest of them will change up as we go along. And since I have 1 attack value, I might as well attack the enemy. And we continue. Now my opponent, who has 5 of them now, bought his card and attacked me for 2. Right, and let's see, now this time I have 4, so I could actually buy something. Now there are 4 factions, and it's best to buy cards in the same faction. Similar to in Magic, you'd want cards of similar colors so that there's higher synergy there. And in Ascension, you also have factions, and you want cards of the same faction because they work well together and give themselves bonuses. So I will start out by getting a blob wheel. And fortunately, that does leave me with 1 spare trade. So that's the disadvantage of buying it that way, is that I'm going to have to let 1 trade go to waste. Now, I've heard that the AI in this game, the easy AI, isn't as bad as the AI in many other games, because in the Ascension AI, for easy mode AI, is ultra easy to play against. In this game, it challenges me at times. Alright, I have spent 4 on the blob already, and I don't want to have more than 2 factions. Therefore, I'm going to get something from, I think these are the machines or something like that. I always forget what this faction is called. So I will get from them. These are actually the red faction, the machine faction, is one I don't usually get cards from, so therefore this will be a little bit of different experience in seeing how this faction works. So let's see how this goes. Oh my goodness gracious, he already has a powerful attack there. Alright, and so now I have this. Now I'm starting to bring in my cards, because whenever you buy a card, you put it into your discard pile, and the next time you reshuffle, the card becomes available. Now, this card right here is a base. And bases go on the side like this. They're similar to construction in Ascension. In other words, they stay in play until they're destroyed. I should note, though, that in this game, bases are very easily destroyed. Sometimes players go after them, especially if they're outposts, because outposts have to be attacked before the player. Alright, see, it's the blob wheel. Oh. Alright, I did not mean to do that. I just meant to take a look there, and unfortunately, you're supposed to hold it down like this. Let's see. Okay, I should avoid clicking here. I'm used to the iOS version where you hold down your fingers in certain ways in order to get things, and obviously I've been making mistakes by hitting things because I did not mean to scrap that base, and all that scrapping that base gave me a extra trade there. But that's what happens with this. This is the first time I've really played on the PC version. I'm used to playing it on the iOS. And let's see what we have here. Now usually if you have this... Oh, this is a patrol mech. So I have a choice of either getting this for 3 or... I won't do anything yet. Okay, click outside in order to go down. So let me play all. And now I have to decide here. This one is what's known as a choice card. In other words, I have to choose to either gain firepower or to gain trade. And currently, is there anything I need? Well, what does this have here? Oh, I right click in this one I right click in order to bring it up. Alright, now that I know that, I could keep that in mind. Alright, you may destroy a target base if you you may destroy target base and or scrap a card in the trade road if you have another blob with it. This little signal here says that if you have another blob card, this ability is in effect. So that's good to know. I just want to know if I wanted this or this. I think I will go for the battle blobs, which means that I will need to get the extra trade. Take this. And that's it. And we'll continue. So far, I'm a little bit behind. picking me off piece by piece. Now, what's nice about the Explorers is not only are they worth one more trade than the Scouts, but it has an ability, actually, it has an ability where you could trash it and gain 2 firepower. So late in the game, where maybe the Explorers aren't your best ships, you might want to start getting rid of them and just whittling down your opponent. Right, that's the only thing ability here. I have 5 here. Anything I can get that's worth 5. I don't want this Federation outpost because they'll start spreading me thin. So I'll get the Blob Destroyer. I'm being really inefficient with my trade power. That's the most unfortunate thing at the moment. And I suspect that that's going to cost me in the end. But this does show that the AI is holding well on its own, and this is the easy one. So I can just imagine what it's going to be like if you go for the harder AIs. And we will see that in the next episode where I will try it at medium. Alright, let's see, what do we have here? An Imperial Frigate, and yeah, but I'm using the unfortunate, actually this is a blob, so I'll take this blob. That destroyer I would have really have loved to have, but now I am, so I'll just take an Explorer instead. And done. Now if you do hit turn in too early, it will give you a warning saying you still have actions you can do. Alright. Okay, how did I get 7 combat with that last one? Okay, oh, yeah, he's 7 combat. And acquire any ship without paying its cost on top of my deck if I had another blob. Actually, I do have one. Acquire any ship without paying its cost and put it on top of your deck. Oh, that is nice. And this is to draw a card. That's why I have the extra card here. Alright, let's see what this does. This is the 3 or 5. So I'll play this card for, should I play it for the 3 or for the 5? I think it's time to give him a nice bloody nose. Therefore, I'm going to take the I'll take it for the 5. Alright. That should do quite a bit of damage down there. It shakes the screen if you do huge amounts of damage. So he's really getting knocked down now. So this, he could scrap for another 4. I don't think it's time to scrap it for a little extra damage. Maybe for the Explorer. Explorers, they're cheap. And the Battle Blob, I don't want to knock him out. Acquire any ship, right. And acquire and put it on top of my deck. We'll take this destroyer here. Now it gets put, now this case, it got put on the top of my deck instead of in my discard pile, because that was the special ability of that card. Alright, I think that's enough. I do want to blow him up for an extra turn, so maybe if I get another one like that, I could destroy him next turn, though I doubt I'm going to get 2 really good ones like that in a row. And unfortunately, I don't have anything that I think is really good, so I'll just end the turn there. And he put up an outpost, so I'm going to have to attack the outpost before I attack him. And that... how many cards did he draw there? Whew. Right, so he obviously had a card that one of his ships gave him tons of cards there, but I think I've got 13. Ooh, wish I had an Explorer now, because then that could really knock him down. but I don't... Actually, let's see what we have here. Destroy a target base and or scrap a cart in the trade road. Alright. Obviously, I want to destroy that. Destroy the defense center. And... see, get rid of anything that would be useful to him. I'll get rid of that dreadnought. Alright. What ability does he have? Destroy... oh, another destroyer. Alright, and... oh, in this case, we'll get rid of that. Alright, and that cycled through a couple of the cards that I don't need. Very well, and... unfortunately, I couldn't bring him down enough this turn. Ooh, and all the low ones are there, so let's just get another one of those. I should have enough to deal him next turn. I doubt he's going to get 26 in one shot. Yeah, nowhere near it. It was a close game for quite a while, but it looks like my deck came through first. Alright, I don't need to use the dash the explorers, and this thing here, you may destroy a target base and or scrap. Yeah, okay, yes, but I don't have another blob in there. So and that is Star Realms. Looks like I did well enough during the early phases, and things got a little bit tougher for them at the end. Though I have had the easy AI beat me on at least one occasion. So next time, we'll go into medium and see if it's any tougher there. And that'll be for our next episode of Pineleaf Plays Star Realms.